Hello, welcome back. Once again, it is time for the comics coffee table. That's right, pull up a chair. Grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today, Pally. That's right, you have come to the place where we take a break together. We leave the real world's problems over there. We pull up a chair and sit together at our comics coffee table. The coffee table was always where my friends and I would hang out, shoot the breeze. There would always be a stack of movies, a stack of music, a stack of books, and a stack of comic books we were trying to get each other to read. So it's that spirit that keeps this coffee table alive and well, and where we hang out and chill out and take our minds off our minds by just talking about comic books for a couple of minutes every day. We can do it. And it's Sunday, and if you know what Sunday is, that means we covered this week's new releases that I bought and may or may not have enjoyed. We'll get to that a little later. But thank you. If you're new to the show, you probably are. There's a lot of new viewers out there. Please click on that subscribe button. We are very close to breaking our first 1,000 subscribers. It's a personal milestone for our channel. Gets us closer to monetization if that's what we want to do. And I think it's fun because my executive producer, Peeker here, he said, what's our subscription goal? We have goals here. We have show notes written by a professional producer. And what's our show goal? Is we got to catch them all. That's our first 1,000. And after that, it's all of you. Yeah, exactly. All of you will subscribe. Gotta catch them all. Thank you so very much. The Comics Coffee Table. Huzzah! If it's 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, this show premieres, and there's a great live chat that's going on. You are invited and welcome. Come aboard! And we talk comic books. And you can also keep this comic book shop-style conversation going in the comments section. Seriously. And it's great because the comic book shop is very dear and important to me. It's my show's platform, my amplification, my voice, my agenda, my messaging, my evangelism. Is I call it Holy Ground, Highlander, or Holy Ground, Batman. The local comic book shop, the LCS. I'm so blessed to have a few different ones, in my Boston area, pre-recorded live before a studio audience of my stuffed animals from our Boston studios, where there are several local comic book shops in my Boston area. We have one major chain, New England Comics, that have, I think, 5 locations remaining. One of them just closed in Harvard Square. Yeah, their Alston store closed a while back, too. And I was quite fond of that store. I grew up, basically, with the Quincy store as one of my go-tos. And then there are mom and pop shops. And they're local businesses. And they need our patronage. This year, on the show, we are reboarding, rebagging, reboxing my entire collection. And on Sundays, we cover the new releases. So while I'm going to my local comic book shop once a week on Wednesday, new release day, the traditional new release day. Hello, DC Comics. You go off as what are you trying to pull? You engineered scarcity or something there? Maybe making it harder on typical comic book shoppers to come in on a Wednesday, to find, because maybe someone came in on a Tuesday and just bought up all the Flash 793s or something. Not pointing fingers, not blaming anyone. I'm contributing by not showing up on a Tuesday. All right. But while I'm at my local comic book shop, and while I genuinely need supplies, chances are you do too. So why don't you do what I'm doing? I'm buying my supplies at the local comic book shop. I could be getting them through my online supply chain. The one with the free shipping and the built-in movie network. You know which one I'm talking about. I could be getting a discount as well. I am agreeing to pay the retail markup. Why? Am I naive? Am I stupid? No. I literally want to help contribute to the success of a local business in my community, and that's my local comic book shop, and I want to be part of that. I want to be part of their health and to keep that going, and I hope it's open for thousands of more years after I'm gone. You know, stuff like that. So I'm getting my boxes there. I'm getting my acid-free boards there. And I'm getting my bags there too. I'm getting the polypropylenes because my lights are still out of stock. I have to ask next time if my lights are back yet. Yeah, I got these for sale. I'm not too thrilled with these ones, but yeah, here's the markup. What's the price on that? $8.99 for 100 resealable polypropylene bags. It was, what was it? It was $14.99 for 100 acid-free boards. One side is coated. And it was $8.99 for this BCW short box. That all adds up. It really does. But that helps keep my local comic book shop open. So I think it's really important, and socially too. I mean, it's good to see other people. It's good to look at someone else and be like, hey, what's in your stack? What do you got? Oh, you got mostly Marvel. Oh, yeah, I got mostly DC. But I got this from Scout, and I got this from Mad Cave. And, you know, and we're going to see what did I get from Scout and what did I get from Mad Cave. And I actually got a Dark Horse from two old friends. So I took a chance on something. And we're going to talk about that any minute now. But get your ass to your local comic book shop and spend your money there. That is like, you know, if that's the messaging I have, the amplification of my platforming, and you know, all the highfalutin newspeak. It's just, you know, yeah, that's the purpose. One of the purposes of this show is, you know, to just spark that little flame in you to be like, hey, why don't I get some bags and boards next time I'm at the local comic book shop? Well, why don't you? What, Pika? Pass me the lip balm. I need to wet my whistle. We got some talking to do. Can you hear me in the back? Hello? What? Finster's in... What? McManus is in there right now? What? Did he tell you that one about the hooker with the dysentery? Hello? Can you hear me in the back? That's Benicio del Toro from The Usual Suspects. So, yeah, I've got all of my trade paperbacks together in one short box, or getting them, and it's almost full. And it's actually kind of heavy. So, have supplies. Buy with your supplies. I got some tape, some masking tape here, a Sharpie. Always bring your own Sharpies to the conventions. Sure, all those creators have Sharpies. But it's, you know, it's good taste to have your own Sharpie, just in case. You know, you offer and like, oh, I have mine. There you go. It's respectful. Take a piece of tape. Why aren't I going to write directly on the lid? Well, maybe I want to reuse it for something else. Maybe I want to have that. You know, I've already experienced writing directly on the lid. This is writing directly on the lid. That's what happens. Entropy happens as well. Sooner or later, you're going to have to, you know, replace your boxes. Maybe, you know, I can get more life out of this. Trade paperbacks. The TPB. You can always, like, if your local comic book shop should have a big, like, you know, sales bin, like a floor bin, mine does, of used trade paperbacks, and I think they're great. Now, if you know the show, you know I prefer floppies, the individual comic books, the publication, the periodical, over trade paperbacks. Why? I love cover art. I love advertisements, and I grew up with the spinner rack and the newsstand. Like, I knew those before I knew the local comic book shop and the direct market. So I'm of that 20th century analog age, you know, and my generation helped bridge that to this digital age. It's true. Look it up on a wiki. Trade paper backs. Mostly DC. Yep, there you go. And that's that. And I can find a secure place for this, maybe like in the corner of a closet. Because we're not going to read these again. I haven't read these in ages. It's nice to have a curation, and it's nice to have like this, like, look, this is my Green Lantern collection. Like, these are the trade paperbacks, and this is when these are the monthlies, and here are the trades that fill in some gaps historically. And but when was the last time I ever read any of this? It's been a while, but it's nice to have them. They're mine. I mean, so they stay, and unless they eventually end up in a local comic book shop's used trade paperback bin, where I got some of these. Most of these I got at full price, off the shelf, from local comic book shops and from bookstores as well. So, but my local comic book shop has, the bin of used trades, and they're usually like 2 for $10 or 5 for $20. And that's what, if you find a couple of things, you're like, oh, I got 3, get 2 more. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't want to say no. Oh, I got room for 2 more, and I really don't have room. But I have some disposable income, and I only have myself in life to spoil. I have no wife, no girlfriend, or no kids, no nephews or nieces. I'm an only child. Dude, I was just like filling out my emergency contact paperwork the other day at work, and I put down my mom, and I'm thinking like, hopefully like 30 years from now she's an old lady and I'm an old man, so I don't have to worry about like not having anyone to like obviously what do you mean you have nobody to put as your emergency contact? All I have is my mom. Aww. Aww. Poor little bachelor. Aww. Hey, I have a joke for you. I might have told it before. What's the only difference between a bachelor and a loser? Hey, what's the difference between a bachelor and a loser? A judgmental woman. Waka waka. I wrote that down. I wrote that. I made that one up. You can write that one down. All right. Okay, Pika. Yes, I read the show notes. I always read your show notes. Don't get me in trouble. It's a Taskmaster. No, not the gender swap Taskmaster. No, everyone forgot about that already, huh? That's been memory hold. That was a memorable bad guy. Bad gal. Bad person. Bad person. Bad persons. That makes me a bad person for saying bad person. Or spelling bad person. That makes me a bad person. I know. I mean, jeez. I like 20 sides. Where are you? The older we get, the more sides we have. And if we get a little older, we become the dungeon master ourselves, and that means you have more than 2 sides. You got more than 6 sides. You got like 20 sides. I just rolled 4, or is it an A? But yeah, okay. So, I didn't. Interesting. Very good. We have new releases to talk about. We have new releases. Yeah, I know. This is what we get for not reading the show notes. I know. A whole nother day of the content. Hey, you forgot to talk about this yesterday. Oh, who, me? Wait a second. You didn't put that in the... We did... Hi! Okay, here we go. It's the ubiquitous brown paper bag that we get with our comic books. The flat. It costs 10 cents extra, but that's the city ordinance. And it's full of this week's comic books. What did we get? We got a stack of funny books. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new funny books this week. I think I spent, what, $32.02 or something like that this week. Yeah, just on new releases with no supplies, no back issues from the bins. Yeah, here we go. Let's we have 1, 2, 3. 3 of them are DC Comics. 1 is a Marvel comic book. 1's going to be a surprise. I'm looking forward to talking about this in a way. Is an Image, a Dark Horse, a Scout, and a Mad Cave in 3 DCs. And a Dark Horse. I said Dark Horse. But yeah, let's start off with the Dark Horse. Worst things first, as I see in the kitchen. Like, what's the thing you'd want to do least or be stuck on during service? Do the worst stuff first. And if that means chopping up, 150 pounds of potatoes for roast potatoes, that means you got to get one done PDQ and then get them in the oven, and then not coast because you got so much stuff to do after that. You got to knock out that other 100 pounds, and you're not some 20-year-old kid anymore with lightning hands. You're a veteran, so you know how to run a kitchen. But worst stuff first. And so yeah, let's put the worst first here. I took a chance on this just by looking at the cover. I had no idea what it was. I saw the artist battery. The battery, we use the term battery here in the baseball sense. The battery in a baseball team is the pitcher and the catcher. And I like to use that as an allegory for the writer and the artist on a comic book. So this was written by Brian Michael Bendis and with art by Michael Avon Emming. They are the creative team behind Powers, one of my favorite superhero comic books. And Bendis was really good for a long time, too. And I also feel that Bendis does better with grittier stuff than he does with the aspirational. We all have our strengths. And gritty noir detective stuff suits Bendis, I think, a little better than, his Daredevil is better than his Superman. Let's put it that way. You dig? So I bought this Murder, Inc. Jagger Rose, issue number 1, $3.99 from Dark Horse Comics, from the creative battery that brought us Powers of Christian Walker and Dina Pilgrim. Those amazing stories, the police procedural set, in the police squad that investigate superpower crime. And it was so well done. And I never finished it, but it's out there. That has finished its story. And that last volume is waiting for me to get to. And I will one of these days. But they put out something new. It's called Murder, Inc. Jagger Rose, set in its own world. Beautiful art by Emming. I love their style. It just fell completely flat for me. It really did. Yeah. But I like the art. I like the coloring. Colors by Taki Soma, lettering by Carlos Mangual, and here's our Indicia colophon. Sure, here's our credits. Complete miss for me. Yeah, and like I said, it's a $4.99. It's a $3.99 comic book, and as I like to say, when we look at the ads, let's look at these ads. What do we have for ads in here? We have nothing but house ads for Dark Horse Comics. There is no product placement for and here's your Bendis stuff. But yeah, I'm talking about Goldfish, Torso, and Jinx, Scarlet. I'm talking about Daredevil. You're talking about Alias. He actually did Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Team, but that was some good stuff too. But way before Bendis became the cliche, you had Bendis. The Innovator. And so yeah, I took a chance on a Bendis book, and and I struck out. That's okay. The titles are like baseballs. You either hit them, you get a base hit, a double, a triple, you can get a home run, or you could strike out, or get a base on balls, or you could foul out. And I think this one was a strikeout for me. I want to follow this up with one of the most fun comic books. This was a suggestion by Yule Carter of Fantastic Comics. Go check out his channel and subscribe. It's a great show. His weekly is Tuesdays Pacific time, 8 p.m. Pacific. I'm asleep by then, so I catch up in the morning. I spend my first 50 minutes of my Wednesday morning hanging out with Yule Carter and talking comic books, because this is what we do. We get kind of inspire each other, all of us out there, to have healthy comic book talk and talk about floppies, new releases, what came before, what we love, and we can talk about this stuff all the time. This is part of the love. And so Yule suggested it from Scout Comics. This is Count Dante, #1, the unauthorized but sort of true story of the deadliest man who ever lived. And Count Dante was is a legend of the 70s, and in 70s publications too, 70s comic books. There's like the, oh gosh, where did it go? It's right here. It's from my spinner rack. One of the, comes something I didn't buy. I got this from the local comic book shop. Because it was like buy 2 premium, get 1 free. So this is the free one I got. This is a 1977 30-cent cover Miss Marvel #4. Great, pretty good art, wall-to-wall action. But look at these ads, okay? The ads in here are just so nostalgic for me. We were just looking at that Dark Horse funny book from this week, and we looked at their ads. Well, look at these ads. This is pre-internet, so these catalogs is someone's internet site where, you know, where you use your PayPal. No, it was a little different back then, you know. Self-addressed stamp envelope, you know, cash, COD, cash on delivery. But, oh, look at that. Some Marvel alliteration using the X letters. That's Marvel for you. But the advertisements, look at these. Like, you know, learn karate. That is where we found Count Dante, and advertisements like this with his familiar picture, with his hairstyle and the facial hair, his mustache. We would call it a porn stash these days, but we have an Atlas body in 7 days. Old comic books, these old advertisements. You know, this is a 1970s comic book. Seriously, I mean, and so. Here's some more, because we're going to look inside Count Dante real quick. But yeah, look at these. So this Count Dante, it had ads like this, like learn, you know, the my secret death touch and never be messed with again kind of thing. So yeah, that's an actual 70s comic book right there. So Count Dante has this great opening page because it looks like a 70s Marvel magazine. Look at the top there. That looks I love this opening. And the art's pretty good, and the story's fun, and it's very Tarantino-like. But then comes the fake advertisements in here to make our 70s comic book experience all that much, you know. That's just sick, isn't it? Oh my goodness. You know, the wimp getting sand kicked in his face by the big bully. You remember the Sea Monkeys ad? Well, here we have Sea Junkies. Yard hatchets. That's great. I got friends who go out throwing hatchets at targets for fun. I think they're of Nordic stock, though. And here we go. These fake, the Count Dante beard trimming kit. Peyton Manning's dad bod. Look at that. I just love, X-ray specs. That was good. That was like one of the ads we always had in our comics. And here we go. This is the last ad we have. Feeble Knievel. And it's just, this is send up of Evil Knievel. That's just funny. So this was a fun, funny book. And so Count Dante, that's up there for me. Do I have a pick of the week? I'm not sure, but that would be up there. I finally caught up with Ambassadors #3 they had a few on the shelf. Got it. So very happy to report that I can find it. I got Flash $7.99. One more issue till the 800th issue, and then it goes back to 1. And this is Jeremy Adams' final issue written. He wrote the entire story. He contributes to the next issue, but this is it. Yeah, Jeremy Adams' run is over. The guy. This is the comic book that got me back into buying new releases weekly, specifically too because of Wes's Thinking Critical band and crewmates at the Comics Aficionados panel show. God bless you. Thank you for having me on. And there's Sully, you're not reading Flash by Jeremy Adams? I am now, and they're the ones that got me into it. So Flash was like my gateway drug back. Speaking of DC Comics, I picked up The Vigil #1 by Ram the Fifth. It's Ram V, I know. Specifically because there are first appearances of a few characters. So first appearances seem to rule the roost when it comes to... so if one of these characters seem to catch fire and get someone's attention and is like the it character, but it's very Wildstormy and in a way and I just think that DC Universe Prime, like Earth Zero, Prime Earth, whatever the hell it's called now, it's congested with superheroes, especially with the Wildstorm bunch. I think Wildstorm works best in its own universe, and there's just a lot of superheroes. I got this from Mad Cave. I'm looking forward to issue 3. This is pretty good. It's about gods and goddesses. It's simple mythology, is with a new spin, and it's very Kill Billy as well. And I really enjoy this. The art's really good. It's got my interest. I like the story. But once again, I mean, here we go. This is a $4.99 comic book, rated Teen Plus, from Mad Cave. It's Hunt, Kill, Repeat. This is issue number 2. It's written by Mark London, artist by Francesco Archidiacono, and inked by Mark Deering. And here's our Indicia colophone, and it's really cool. I'm in. I'm reading this. It's got some really good fight scenes and some really good look at these panels. I like these panels. I like this fight scene. This is a fight between goddesses. It's Aphrodite versus Athena. No, Artemis. It's Aphrodite versus Artemis, and it's like really beautiful form. I really like how Artemis is drawn. She's the one in dark. Aphrodite is the I don't mean to spoil you either. But yeah, I'm looking forward to issue 3. This is Mad Cave Comics. I'm really happy to be buying comics that aren't just Big 2 comics. Okay. Mark Waid and Dan Mora's World's Finest, Batman Superman's World's Finest. Fun. Set also in an idealized past. We have a teenaged Dick Grayson, Robin, and who is not quite. He just got his drive. Let's put it this way: he must be about 16 years old because he can drive the Batmobile. And I don't know if Tim Drake must have been 14 when he had the Redbird. So wow, breaking the law, Batman. By does this kid even have a learner's permit? But we have a teenage Dick Grayson as Robin, who is at that age where he's the leader of the Teen Titans. And there's actually a Teen Titans book coming out of this. And I'll check into that too, because I love the Teen Titans. This was a surprise. It was mentioned by Yul Carter on his show last week. Here's a flash fact. I am a friend of Jerry Duggan, comic book writer Jerry Duggan. He was the college roommate of one of my good adult years friends here in Boston. And I've met Jerry Duggan. I met him at 2015 Comic-Con, Boston Comic-Con. I was dressed up as Captain America, got a picture with him, got to be like, hey, you know what I mean? I know TD and his wife, and his kid, and he said blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh, really? Like, yeah, can we take a picture together? Click, you know what I mean? I'll send it to TD, and so I'm not going to say anything negative about Jerry Duggan because he's literally a friend of a friend. So if I stay away from Duggan conversations, and I have stayed away from his X-Men titles as well. And this, Yule mentioned X-Men number 22, written by Jerry Duggan, was interesting. I don't want to quote him because it's more of a paraphrase, but he mentioned it, and I took a chance. I'm a huge X-Men fan. I am a lifelong X-Men fan. I want to be buying X-Men comic books. I want to be enjoying X-Men stories. It's just very difficult these days. There's a lot of baggage involved. There's a lot of polarization involved. The X-Men have become excess baggage when it comes to fandom. There's a lot of heavy baggage involved. And these used to be simple superhero stories, well told. And, well, I don't mean to enable any regimes or anything. I mean to just buy funny books that are on the shelves of my local comic book shop. They've already bought it from, you know what I mean? So whatever, so I'm doing my part by buying new releases. But this was actually, I dare say it wasn't fun. It was pretty brutal in places. And, but I read the whole bloody thing, including the standard memo pages. Like, I read everything. I took my time, but it really was a primer that I needed in order to come in cold at issue number 22 and enjoy this story. And I enjoyed it, and it catches you up pretty quick. This is what I always think, that a good comic book could be a jump-on spot for a new reader. And this is that comic book. Now, I can continue to buy the rest of Duggan's run and hopefully be satisfied. You know what I mean? Will I take a chance on issue 23? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I like this one. And it's got a really clever use of the toys, or the broken toy. I mean, Duggan's doing really good with what he's been given, I think. Especially when it comes to, with the Krakoan resurrection protocols. There's a lot of dead Wolverines out there. Logan's, gotten used to being, killed and brought back. But what do you do with an indestructible adamantium skeleton? It's pretty fun. I think it's clever use of this shit. And come on, I'm a chef. If I'm given by my executive chef, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're given ingredients that, you don't necessarily, you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this? You've given me chicken thighs and ketchup. You're not going to care that it's chicken thighs and ketchup. You're just going to go, can I have some more, please? That's what a good chef can do, and a good writer. And you know what? I mean, I'm not on the bandwagon. I'm not going to bash Jerry Duggan, but I'm going to say good going on this one, man. This is, earn your keep. Keep doing stuff like this. And I got no problems with him or this story. I'm like I said, comic books are like baseballs. You can either strike out on them, you can foul out on them, you can ground out on them, you can pop out on them, or you can get a base hit, a double, a triple, or a home run. Stuff like that. I mean, comics are baseballs. I love baseball. And I love comic books. And thank you so very much for hanging out with us today. Wrap it up and have a great day. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books every day. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Live. Pre-recorded live. No. The live chat premiere is the live part of the show, and it's a really good place to hang out. And I met a really good crew, cast of great comic book fans, and we just hang out and talk comic books. It's great. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Bye-bye.